Jesus and his disciples prepare the Passover.
All right. And this is 22, Luke 22 and verse 7 we're starting.
7.
Yes.
Then the day of unleavened bread, or then came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed.
Mm,
Is that referring to like the lamb?
I think so, yes. I
Okay.
mean, the original Passover obviously came in Moses after the plagues and, when they went to Egypt, right?
Right.
That's the first Passover. But yes,
I
it's
mean, is that just a phrasing thing? That's a weird way to say that. Because like
like
what when the Passover must be killed? Were they not sacrificing lambs on this day?
I think that's what they mean. The Passover is the lamb.
Right.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, when they say the Passover must be killed.
Yeah. I think in back then they were probably, like I don't think they do it now.
I don't think they do either, mother. My
Right.
goodness.
But I think that they were probably still doing it then.
Right. Because it was customary.
Yeah, it was right. And I think if they had the opportunity, maybe they would do it today. Not sure. But then Jesus became that Passover lamb for us.
Right, so we didn't have to.
Right.
And he sent Peter and John, saying, go and prepare for us, that we may eat. So they said to him, where do you want us to prepare? And he said to them, behold, when you have entered the city, a man will meet you carrying a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house which he enters. Then you shall say to the master of the house, the teacher says to you, where is the guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples? Then he will show you a large, furnished upper room. There, make ready.
Hmm.
So he went and found it just as he said to them, and they prepared the Passover. So they found
Jesus prepared, they went, obeyed, and it was just like
God's
he said.
God's hand guided them.
Exactly.
A man carrying a pitcher. How
I know.
many times you've been like, walk down in like even downtown Albany or New York City? I'll see like three people carrying pitchers.
Right. How come? Right. Amen.
It's just like one of those weird things to be looking out for?
I know. Yeah. But yeah, but it happened.
And they let him there.
Yeah.
Then Jesus institutes the Lord's Supper. When the hour had come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. Did you want to go over anything?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Then he said to them, with fervent desire, I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say to you, I will no longer eat of it until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God. Then he took the cup and gave thanks, and said, take this and divide it amongst yourselves. For I say to you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God comes. And he took the bread, gave thanks, and broke it, and gave it to them, saying, this is my body, which is given for. Do this in remembrance of me. Likewise, he also took the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is shed for you. But behold, the hand of my betrayer is with me on the table. And truly the Son of Man goes as it has been determined. But woe to that man by whom he is betrayed. When they began to question amongst themselves which of them it was who did this thing.
But they didn't know. It wasn't obvious.
Well, that's Jesus saying it, right? He's like, oh, that would have been. You would have, well,
I mean, Jesus knew, but the disciples. they said they were questioning themselves, right?
You know, at this table, Mother, there was like two Simons. There was a guy named Bartholomew there. Judas Iscariot. People I never even heard of.
Right. There was the people right that we don't hear of. You're right.
I don't even know.
And we don't
I
know much
expect
about.
them to
You're right.
all be like Peter, but they mean
Are they all like Peter? So,
I
or Peter took the spotlight.
think that.
Oh. And then there, this is like the first as we celebrate, as we call it, communion, right? Or we, this is like the first time, right?
Yeah.
And then, as it says in verse 19, this is my body which is given to you. Do this in remembrance of me. We're doing it to remember what Jesus did.
Because it's bad to forget. It's not bad to forget, but you know.
It is bad to forget. I mean, it's not bad to forget some things. Like when you forgive somebody, you can forget it. But it's bad to forget what God has
Well,
done for you and your mistakes so that you can learn from them, maybe, right? But not to remember to repeat them. We don't want to repeat our. We want to
well,
remember the lesson.
we don't want to be stuck in the desert for 40 years, right?
Right. We do not want that either. No. No.
They probably, they probably had maybe they had a far ways to go, but they probably could have made it in
A few
what, a
days,
year?
a
A
week.
couple months, a
Yeah.
couple of weeks,
Yeah.
if they really tried.
They could have
I
met
mean,
it.
Jesus
Yes, they
was
could.
cruising around,
Right.
and these were like 2 million people. So yeah,
But instead,
but instead, 40 years.
and you don't even know what 40 years feel like yet.
That's like two full generations.
Yeah. A generation. I mean, I don't know how long a generation is.
A generation is usually anywhere from, I think, 20 to 40 years.
Oh, I thought it'd be longer, but I see what you're saying.
Well, you'd say reasonably, because
Right.
being being the theoretical youngest age you could conceive.
Yes, yes. And then, oh, yes, yes. I understand now. I understand what you're saying. For
So
the
20
generation,
years.
it comes from when you're a child to when you can have children.
Right.
Old, I mean, in times, I think sometimes it's measured somewhat different, right? Because then how do you? That's easy to measure a individual generation, but then
I
a
mean,
whole
if you could
country,
fit three generations, again, theoretically, into 45 years, right?
right?
You can
You
get it
could
real close and go,
15,
that's it.
15. Yeah, you could. I know. I mean, we know
But,
grandmas that are 25. I mean,
um,
45, 45. Sorry, not
right,
25.
there's some young grandmas.
Yeah, so yeah.
Mm,
Wow.
but we'll find
Oh,
some peace before, well, hopefully they find some peace after this, right? They just got told.
supper. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Jesus. But they're having this time with Jesus that they probably will never forget, Like
yeah, I
these.
don't know. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens next time. We're gonna find some peace.